Let's see my see my fat stomach. All right, so I finally finished all of my reorganization. So I did something a little different. It's not for aesthetic reasons. It is for just the fact is that it's going to be much easier for me to do this. So I'll start off here. All right. So I have one autobiography. Not All Boys Are Blue. That's probably going to be joined by this one book that I picked up last month. All these from here. So all this from here down to here are all my cozies. So I've got a total of, for right now, alright, so I got a total of 70 read cozy mysteries, which you can tell that is my favorite genre, and one autobiography, so that's a total of 71. Over here is where I'm keeping all of my fantasy books. These are like either adult fantasy or like young adult fantasy. Alright, so I have now have 87, so I have about 87 books up here. So 70 cozies, one autobiography. Yeah, I got a lot, so I cannot compute inside my head at all. One and down here I only have one historical, either historical fiction or historical non-fiction, one of the two. But yeah, I only have one of those, so I put a thing here, and what this does is it allows me to separate the genre. So from here all the way down to right here are all of my young adult horror. And then if we move down, hopefully I can get this all in one go. Then down here is all of my general fantasy, like my Hardy Boys, my Nancy Drew. The Nancy Drew series has had so many different titles, so many different series, like me. So like here is like your, like this was a reprint, but here's like the blue shell, like the blue spine Hardy Boys, yellow spine Nancy Drew. They always called them like the yellow books or the yellow spine books, Nancy Drew. Then I started off with the series that came out, the next one was a series that came out in the 80s. This was the Nancy Drew Files. This is why the covers are so like, they have the 80s vibe to it. I should know. I grew up in the 80s, so I know. And then we have the next one that came out, which is the Nancy Drew notebooks. Very different than these right here. This is more geared towards children. This is more geared towards young adults. Then we have the defunct and really bad Nancy Drew Diaries. This series was more about romance than mystery. Every once in a while, she would actually have to solve a mystery. Here's your Nancy Drew Girl Detective. This is a series I'm still continuing to buy, though I do limit how many times a year that I buy it because I do want to buy more cozies. I'm addicted to that genre. Then we have the Nancy Drew and the Clue Crew. Once again, another Nancy Drew series for young children. which I do buy even though I'm not a child. I don't care. Then I got the horrible Nancy Drew graphic novel. This was absolutely horrible. I did not like it. Then we have the two that are currently being produced, and that is the Nancy Drew Clue book and the Nancy Drew diary. So this is different. The Nancy Drew notebook is different from the diaries. Then over here we have my Thursday Night Murder Club books. I am going to be purchasing book 4. Even though I have it on audiobook, I'm still going to purchase it as a physical book. And then right here is my books. Because my last name is V, they are the last. Over here is my only romance book. I told you guys in a previous video I'm going to read one romance book a month. So I'm going to be ordering Llewellyn, and I'm going to be sticking that. Over here, you probably can't see it, but these are my science fiction books. Most notably like my Star Trek The Next Generation books. I absolutely love those. And down here, you can't really see it, but these right here are all of my urban fantasy. So, yeah. Then down here, we got my webtoon comics, and I put it next to the manga because they essentially feel like the same genre. So, yeah. So these are all of my books, so I'm going to go ahead and count them, give you an exact total of the books that I have read, not the books, now I'm not including the books I've not yet read. So I'm going to get up, no, I'm going to start at the bottom. Okay, I'm done. I have read a total from the time that that I started this channel to now 238 books. That is a lot of books for one person to be reading. This does not include my Kindle books, which I still have my $50 gift card for. I have not used that at all. So yeah, another thing I want to say is novellas that are under horror, or general horror, I do include in the horror section. They do not have their own section. But yes, so 238 books that I have read, and I am astonished by that, because when I started this channel way back when I lived at the old place, I was just it was just going to be a Nancy Drew channel, and then I changed it when I started getting like books that were other than Nancy Drew. So yeah, so it's a nice little collection I've got. Am I trying for 1,000 books? You darn right I am. I am going to try for 1,000 books, even if I have to put the books in totes. I don't care. So yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. I really need to get off this floor because it's really hurting my legs. I will see you guys around.